Hi, I'm Leo. I'm a writer and illustrator, and in this video I want to break down one of my favorite storytelling techniques, which is when you let the reader discover the story for themselves rather than just telling them everything. And I'm going to break down two of my illustrations and how they approach that in different ways. One is a bit more subtle and the other is a bit more obvious. We're going to start off with this story about a cat burglar who's literally a cat. And this piece does it through environment design. So the general idea behind this story is that we have a cat who's in the lower left corner, and it keeps breaking into this sweet shop. And eventually he steals so many sweets that he gets so fat that he can no longer perform his heist. Just a silly story. I thought it was funny. But there's a little bit more going on in this illustration than first meets the eye, because rather than just writing what's happening, there's clues dotted throughout. So clue number one is the giant wanted poster on the wall. Might be a bit obvious, but it's kind of nicely tied into the environment, so it's not just right in your face. And the position of our main character is directly beneath it on purpose. Because it's a cat, it can't read posters, so it has no idea that this giant wanted poster is above him. So it creates this kind of subtle tension because he could get caught at any minute, and he doesn't know that he's this suspect that everyone's after. The next element is the no cats. Oh, I zoomed out. Hold on. Yeah, the next element is the no cat sign on the entryway to a shop. And that just kind of backs up this clue by here. So you can put the two pieces together and you can understand that this poster is connected to this shop by here. And that is kind of the main idea behind it. It's just implying story rather than telling it, and letting people infer whatever they want to infer with that information. And if you do that well enough throughout a 32-page picture book, then you should be able to take people on this ride where they feel like a genius discovering the story for themselves, page after page. I hope, at least that's the idea. There's a few other little things in this piece that creates tension as well. So the line of sight, our main character, their head is peering just around this corner. And if this character turns their head, or this character looks over here, they can see the cat. And his entire plan could just go up in smoke in an instant, which really helps with creating tension and giving you a reason to turn the page, I hope. There's a few other interesting bits of storytelling going on here. One is with these characters' eye lines. So they're looking at, that was terrible arrows, but hold on, let me do that better. The eye lines of these characters, they're looking at something happening in the shop. And with this spill of colour by here, that is a reflection of something that's happening somewhere hidden inside. So rather than putting the exciting thing that's going on directly in the reader's face, we're hiding it. We're hiding it inside this building somewhere, which again gives you a reason to you want to know what's going on in there, or at least I want to know. So that's the first one. I think it's kind of cool. I like it. I do also really like the depth going on. I think that's fun. Now let's move on to a one that's a little bit more obvious, at least on the surface. So here we have a boy and a bear travelling across the ocean, and underneath we have a whale that is just about to eat them. Seems obvious at first, however, there's a few interesting things going on. So firstly, we can see the destination. We can see that they're almost there. So that instantly creates tension. Secondly, the light from here gives us a reason to be able to see this creature in the first place. We have the light from the lighthouse and we have the light from the moon lighting up the water and revealing the whale. Next we have the cross section, so we're slicing through the water here. I don't know what that drawing was, but you know what I mean. So yeah, it creates this really interesting visual. Anyway, on to the storytelling element of it. The boy and the bear have no idea that underneath them is this giant sea creature about to eat them, which at first might not be that obvious, but then if you look at the eye lines, the bear is looking because his best friend's just flying up in the air and is about to go into the ocean because they've gone over a giant wave. So all these guys know is there's just this crazy big wave and their boat is flying up in the air. The eye line here is blocked by the boat, so they can't see. So he can't see the creature underneath. So what we're doing is letting the reader in on a secret. So they know something about the story that the characters don't know. And that can be applied in all kinds of different ways. You can use it to create jokes, you can use it to create tension, you can use it to make the readers feel smart. There's all kinds of exciting things that you can do with it. And maybe I'm just nerding out over it, but I don't know. But yeah, that's a really quick breakdown of that storytelling technique and how it can be used in a couple of different ways. You can use it for all sorts of things. It's cool. I like it. Anyway, thanks for watching.